Terry versus Ohio is the linchpin of death and the prison state and police state that we live in the United States of America. So there's Terry versus Ohio right there. And then if you take a look, see if you take a stick, and I'll put a stick on the wall for you so you can see it yourself. That line right there is the prison complex. That's the industrial prison complex. So here's Terry versus Ohio right here. The prison system in 1968 is 300,000 people. And now today, what we're looking at is over 2.5 million people. 2.5 million people in prison. And then look down that stick, and that's the year of is 1968, all the way ubiquitously down the timeline. So there's an XY axis. The X is the years, and then moving forward is the Y. So this is in 1968 when Terry v. Ohio passes. And then right here, this is when the prison system takes off like a rocket. When you see the police kill somebody, it's legal. It's perfectly legal. It's because of Terry versus Ohio that puts officer safety over your civil liberties. When they put officer safety over the top of your rights, that's when we lost all of our rights, Katie. That's when we lost all of our rights. You see how that works?
Yeah.
Because there's the prison system right there. Look how low it is. So did people become more criminal, do you think, after 1968? Or do you think that the government passed laws to arrest people? This is Terry versus Ohio. And then right here, the prison population is at 300,000 people. And then Richard Nixon declares war on drugs. And then Ronald Reagan creates the for-profit prison industry. And see, the prison industry, it goes up dramatically from 300,000 up to over 400,000 to 500,000. We doubled the prison industry in Nixon's administration alone. Doubled the amount of people go and live in a dungeon. So the question I asked you was, in 1968, when the prison industry starts to take off like a rocket, did people in America become more criminal, or did the government pass legislation that made laws that make people criminals?
What would the laws be? I'm sorry, I'm lost.
The war on drugs. And also this right now here, this Terry v. Ohio, what this allows police to do is to walk up and grab you based on their suspicion. Do you know why that was passed in 1968? See the year right here, 1968? Why do you think they passed where cops could grab you in 1968? Let me give you a clue real quick. Here's a clue. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think in 1968 they made it so that the cops could run up and grab you? Let me give you a little bigger clue here. Okay, does that help you understand why they wanted?
Because of people?
Right, they did it because they didn't want the civil rights movement to move forward. They wanted the civil rights movement to fail. That's the whole point. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the whole point. See, this is what happened right here. And so when they killed Martin Luther King Jr., that was the final straw. That was the final straw. That was the end of the civil rights era when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. From there, after this happens in April of 1968, and then June 6th of 1968, Robert Kennedy was assassinated, and then on June 10th of 1968, the Supreme Court, an unelected body, passed Terry v. Ohio that puts officer safety over your rights. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what rights do you have, Katie? What are your rights? Do you know your First Amendment rights?
Well, you have freedom of speech. You have... Good. Yeah.
What else you got? What other rights do you have? I'm gonna come back here for you.
I know you have. Yeah, I know you have the right to bear arms. I don't know the other ones. I can't remember, but I know some of them.
So you have a Second Amendment right?
Yeah.
So just so you know, down the line here, your First Amendment's going to be based on liberty, your right to speech, your right to press, right to assemble, petition, right to freedom of religion, and then your Second Amendment right, your right to bear arms. Your right to bear arms. And then your Third Amendment right is the right not to house troops. It's not up here because it doesn't affect our civil liberties. And then your Fourth Amendment right is the right to be free in your person, houses, papers, and effects. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
I gave away thousands of these. Now I have them for $5 for the $15 digital, the indestructible trifold, which is $25. It's $5 trifold. $5 trifold, because you absolutely immediately, upon interacting with pigs who want to take you to a dungeon, you have to invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. So the Fourth Amendment's going to be right down here. See where it says the Fourth Amendment? Because what Terry v. Ohio does is it takes away your Fourth Amendment. So if I just slide this down, it says the Fourth Amendment is the right of the people. So who's the Fourth Amendment belong to? It belongs to the people. To be secure in their persons. To be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. Let me ask you a real easy question. If a cop pulls in behind you, does your stomach go through your throat?
I mean, sometimes, but that's just because like you're like, oh crap, I did something wrong. I mean, that's because like you sped or something.
Okay, so you think you've done something wrong if the police are pulling you over? Is that what happens to you? How many times have you been pulled over?
I mean, not necessarily, because it has happened before. Like if your lights out, they're trying to protect you because like safety hazards too. I mean.
Oh, you think they pull you over to protect you for your lights being off, or you think they're pulling over to try to give you a DWI?
I mean, no. I mean, honestly, like, I have family that's cops and stuff, and I know that the reasons aren't all, like bad things. I know that a lot of the time that, I mean, and that's their job. I mean, and...
What's their job? To take people to the dungeon? To take people to the prison system? That's their job?
Not necessarily.
But
they do it to protect you because let's say you are drinking and driving, you could hurt someone else.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it that way.
Okay. So
and that's your personal choice. So like if you are drinking and driving or something, and you put like someone else's, like you put your own locking on it and someone else's, I hope someone pulls you over, because like you shouldn't be doing stuff like that, because that can hurt more people than just you.
What if you just happened to forgot to put your lights on? What if you just didn't put your lights on? So then you get pulled over by the police, and what's their job then? Well, after they realize you're not drinking, what is their job? Does their job end?
They tell you to turn your lights on, and then they say you can drive away.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah? How many times have you been pulled over, Katie?
I've never been pulled over, but I've been with someone who's been pulled over.
You've never been pulled over?
I haven't, no.
And you drive a car?
I've been with someone, yes, but I've been with someone who has.
Uh-huh. And how'd that go?
It went well. He was really nice about it.
The cop was really nice about it?
He just said he didn't want us to get hurt.
Okay, so let's just say, though, you don't have your lights on and you get pulled over, and the cop pulls up and he says, you've been drinking. You say, no, I have not been drinking, even though you shouldn't answer any questions. But then you have not been drinking. Does his job end right there and he lets you go?
I mean, if you can tell if someone's...
Okay, but I'm just saying, you can tell? How can you tell?
Like, by looking at their eyes, and you can tell by the way they're talking.
Okay, perfect. So what she just said, you guys, is the definition of Terry versus Ohio. She just said it. She just nailed it. She's exactly correct. If the cop believes that you're drinking, then you're drinking. That's what Terry v. Ohio does.
No, I'm not saying that then you're drinking. I said that you can tell if someone could possibly be, and then they'll eventually do a test on you.
You're actually correct. You are correct. All it takes, because of Terry versus Ohio, is the cop to believe that you've been drinking, even if you haven't been. You can take a breathalyzer, and if he still believes you've been drinking, then you can still be arrested for DUI. Did you know that? Did you know that?
You can still be arrested?
Yes.
No, because they have to do a test on you. They have to do a breathalyzer test and all that.
Let me say it to you again, Katie. You're super cute. I just adore you. But let me just tell you the truth. If the cop is reasonably suspicious that you've been drinking, and you do not, and you take a breathalyzer and it blows 0, you can still be arrested for DUI. Did you know that? In your head, you can't compute that, can you? You literally are going, that's just not true, aren't you? In your head, I mean, just to be honest. And I don't mind, you can say it. In your mind, you're saying if I blew on the straw and it blew 0, that he has to let me go. Is that correct? She has to face the fact that the people who are law enforcement are her family, and that they arrest people based on their suspicion, based on Terry versus Ohio.